Good morning, everybody. My name is Darlene, and I have Parkinson's. It was funny. I was just watching a video that Caroline, Canadian gal, had put out. She's on a trip down to somewhere in the States, down south, and the first one was called Trucking from Portage la Prairie, Manitoba, down to I think it was Pinot. But anyway, this was the first leg of their journey. But what it reminded me of, she was showing us some scenery out the window, and it reminded me I've done quite a few trips back because I was born in Brandon, Manitoba, so I've been back there many times. And I went back there one time with my dad, and I thought I would just tell you about the story that I laugh so hard when I think about it. We said to ourselves before we left, oh, I should set it up. Dad and I decided to take a trip back to Brandon and to Winnipeg to sort of just do a little tour around. He said he had things he wanted to show me before he'd pass away. This was many years ago. I mean, this was long before he passed away. He was a young man still, practically. Young enough to have me that had children. But, anyway, so we decided to go on this trip together. He said he wanted to show me some places. So I left my children and Bill behind. They looked after each other, and Mom was left back at home, and my brothers and my mom, they took care of themselves, and Dad and I took off to do for this trip. And I think we were going to take 10 days. Anyway, we drove, and one of the places that we went, and before we left, we said, let's buy a lottery ticket. And we took turns buying a lottery ticket. Every time we made a stop where there was a store, we bought just a little ticket on the 649 or whatever. It cost us, I think, $2 a time. So we just said whenever we'd stop, we'd buy a ticket. Along the way, we'd each, buy one ticket. And no, I would buy one ticket, then the next stop he'd buy a ticket, the next stop I'd buy a ticket, and then if any of us won, we would just share between the two of us. Anywho, off we drove. We got to this one particular town called Cardiff. It's in Saskatchewan. And we were staying in Cardiff because we had a couple of relatives still living in the area, so we had stopped there for the night. And so I said, I'll just go walk down to the gas station and I'll get a ticket. So I did. I walked down to the gas station and got a ticket and came back. Well, the draw was that night. So the next day I said to Dad, because if you win and you've bought an out-of-province ticket, you have to mail it back or something. You can't get paid out when you're out of province. Well, I think the Western, BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, I think, those three can all be together. I forget exactly how it is, but they've got like the Western lottery, and then they got, different lotteries all the way across. But the 649 is across Canada, but you have to turn the ticket in where you had bought it, the province you had bought it from. So anyway, I went to the gas station, bought this ticket, and the next morning I said, let's check the ticket, because if this wins, we will then, when we get as far as Winnipeg, we'll cash this one in. So anyway, I took it down to the gas station, and I checked it on the little whipper-dipper machine that you just put the ticket into. And I did that, and wasn't I a winner? I think I won $100 or something. So I said to Dad, we've done really well. We've won this $100. I'm going to cash it in, and we'll see. So I took it to the cash register, and I said, I'd like to cash this in. And she says, oh, we have to verify that first. And I said, well, that's fine. So she puts it into her machine and verifies it. And she says, oh, you're a winner. And I said, yes, I am. I said, I think it's $100. Am I correct? And she said, yes, you are. And I said, well, I'd like to cash that in, please. And she says, oh, we can't do that. And I said, why can't you do that? You're a lottery kiosk. You're supposed to be able to do this. I mean, if it's a big, big prize, no, you don't have to do that. Like, then you have to go to the lottery office. This was just $100. And she says, well, this is the beginning of the day, and we're a very small town. She says, we don't have that much money in our float, in our till. I have never heard that sentence uttered out of anybody's lips. I can't pay out a lottery ticket that I have sold because I don't have enough money in my till. Like, it was $100 for its sakes. How do you conduct your business with gasoline? Like, anyway, she said, let me phone the owner and see if he has money at home, because it was a weekend. He couldn't go to the bank. I said, okay. So she phoned the owner at home, and he said, no, he didn't have any cash at home, but he says, I think that he says so and so down a couple blocks over. He thinks he has money around the house. He says, let me phone him and see if I can borrow that money. So he phoned whoever his buddy was, and I guess he borrowed this $100. And next thing you know, the owner comes down to the thing. It took about 45 minutes, all told, by the time they were said and done. And he gave me the $100, and I thanked him very much, and we were on our way. But I thought it was hilarious that we had spent all this time trying to cash this $100 ticket in, and we were on our way to whatever the next town was, and we could have cashed the ticket in there, but she had already verified it on her machine, so she had to pay it out. So I laughed about it because I thought, I've never heard somebody say we can't pay that out. The only other time that I heard that we can't pay it out was when I was in Chilliwack and I was playing bingo with my mother. No, I'm getting mixed up. That happens with my brain. I get mixed up. I was playing bingo with my grandmother, and I was staying with her for a week so that I could, visit with her. I did that once a year. I went and stayed with her for a week, and then we had a good visit and talked about the old times, and it was great. Anyway, we had decided to do seniors bingo at one time, and so her and I went to bingo, and they had a progressive pot at this bingo hall. Or it wasn't a bingo hall, it was their seniors community center that we were playing at. And they played bingo, and they had a pot that if you paid an extra dollar or two, I forget what it was, you paid this extra dollar or two for the ticket. If you won the particular game that it was, and you had that ticket, then you won $500. Otherwise, the prizes were like $10 a game. And the game we had to play for was a blackout, and I thought, well, that might be all right. So I said to Grandma, let me buy us this extra $1 or $2 ticket, and we'll make that game worth more money. And she says, oh, nobody ever buys that. And I said, well, Grandma, I'm going to buy that for you and I said we're going to buy that and see how it goes. And so you could tell that I'm the gambler. She wasn't. But anyway, so I bought us this little ticket. Well, didn't you know when that game came, I won the game. Now, it was a blackout, and there is, what was there, 5, 10, 15, 20, 24. I think there's 24 squares on a bingo card. And so you would think that, it would take about between 55 and 60 calls in a general time for somebody to get a blackout card. I blackout bingoed at 71 calls. It was ridiculous. Bingo never goes to there, but I know how I won. The fact was, these people missed their numbers all the time. I was watching around, and these people weren't even putting their bingo chips on their card with certain numbers, or they'd get talking and 4 and 5 numbers would be called. I don't know how they ever won a game because they weren't playing, but anyway, I managed to win. And Grandma says, don't mention that. Don't mention that you have that ticket. I said, Grandma, we won it fair and square. I said, we'll tell them we have the ticket, and we've just been very lucky. I said, we'll go out for dinner tonight. Anyway, I mentioned when they were coming around, they were going to pay me out. I said, oh, I've bought that extra ticket for the extra prize, the progressive prize. She goes, oh, nobody ever buys that. And I said, so is it not in effect now then? And she said, oh, no, well, it's in effect. I mean, we couldn't have sold you the ticket if it wasn't in effect. But I don't know what to do, she said, because we don't have enough money. We don't make enough money in the bingos here. And I said, well, surely to goodness that whatever money you pay for this game, that gets put into a separate pot or something. That's, it wouldn't all go into the same pool of money. Anyway, she didn't know what I was talking about, so I laughed about it, and she said, I'll go and talk. We've got more bingo games going here. So she says, you just keep playing. I'll get it sorted out. So she came back to me, and she knew that I was a visitor. So she came back and she says to me, are you still going to be in town tomorrow? And I said, oh, absolutely. And she says, okay, well, then if you come down tomorrow, we'll take your name today. But if you come down tomorrow, we'll have somebody, we need 2 signatures on a check. I said, so you'll be paying me by check then? And she says, no, we need 2 signatures on a check, and then someone will go to the bank and get the money out of the bank, and they'll bring it down here for you. I thought, what a Mickey Mouse way this is going. But anyway, whatever. I'm not going to argue with anybody. So I just laughed about it to myself and had a good laugh with Bill about it. But Anyway, so the next day we went down and we got paid that out. But in the meantime, because we had won, Grandma says, well, we won. We should go to this other bingo hall tonight. I thought, oh, I've got her hooked on this bingo now. So I said, yeah, we should. So when we walked through the door, we saw people actually pointing to us at the door. And I said, Grandma, why are the people pointing at us? I said, am I dressed okay or what? She says, oh, no, dear. She said, they're just pointing out who won the pot at the other hall, because nobody ever wins that pot. Nobody buys that. So that was so unusual. They're just pointing at you out to all their friends. I said to Grandma, if they have that pot at this hall, I won't buy it. I promise I won't buy it. It was hilarious. Anyway, so I'm not going to talk very much more today. We're going to make up a nice picky plate tonight for dinner. Just going to have crackers with some whipped cream cheese and a slice of sausage meat, like garlic sausage or something, or salami or pepperoni. And have that just as a nice sort of little platter. And Bill's going to have just a couple of frozen things put into the fryer or the oven. He's going to have a chimichanga that we have frozen from Cosmo and some French fries. So that's what he's having for supper. Claudine will share in my plate. And we're just going to sit around and do a few things that we have on the go, a couple of projects we have on the go, and I can't do them myself. So we're just going to sit around tonight. She had all her friends over last night for a birthday party. So she's tired and whatnot. So she's got the dog out to the park right now to have a big run. And then she'll be back. So I thought I would just do my video here, say hello to everybody, and I'll chat with you all tomorrow. Oh, I should tell you, I'm so sorry that my bread didn't turn out, but you know what? I'm going to keep trying at it. Like, we're going to try that fry bread again. We will get it to work at some point, and then we'll show you how it's supposed to work. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.